All right, Reece. I'm here with Reece Eddy. He's a former BU LSM. He was our team captain last year, and he got drafted 9th overall by the Chrome to the PLL. He's from upstate New York, Skinny Atlas, if I'm correct.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
thanks for having me today. Thanks for talking to me. So
Thanks for having me. Excited.
we're going to talk about the recruiting process today. And Reece, you had a pretty interesting recruiting trip. How did your process change? You went to Canisius first, and you transferred over to BU. You want to tell me about how you went from high school all the way to how you got to the PLL?
Yeah, so my story's not that interesting, but coming out of high school, I didn't have many offers at all. I only had the one D1, which was to Canisius. So I took that. Spent 2 years there, played some good lacrosse, had good academics. So I decided I need a little challenge. So I thought academically first was most important. So I decided to look for schools that were academically challenging to me, and then also had the lacrosse aspect. So I ended up going middle of season of my sophomore year, told my coach that I was planning on leaving. So I had to get all that paperwork done to be released from the school, and then went on the transferring trail pretty much, where I was kind of just sending out emails to schools that I thought were a good fit for me for academics, and didn't really focus on the lacrosse aspect too much because that's more secondary for me for my career. But ended up at BU, which was obviously a great opportunity for me, and couldn't be happier with my choice.
All right, nice. So transferring is not an easy decision to make. So what kind of advice would you give to athletes who are considering transferring now?
Don't be scared to do it. I know it's a pretty scary thing to do, like leaving your school and not having the confidence in yourself to land somewhere. So I would think just be okay with being uncomfortable for a little bit, for not knowing where you're going to go, and you'll end up somewhere where you're supposed to be. That's what I found out. So definitely, just if you want to do it and you think it's a good choice for you, definitely do it.
All right, nice. Okay, so a lot of guys are visiting a bunch of schools, and a lot of these top athletes are trying to decide between schools. What are some things that are red flags for people that are looking at schools that maybe might help them decide not to go somewhere?
I would think how the coaches talk to you, really. Like, the coaches are definitely a reflection of how their team is run. So if the coaches are definitely kind of standoffish or not very interested in you, obviously it's kind of a red flag to start off. But my experience with Coach Poley and Coach Lippo and Coach Silverlick, that they were just so welcoming and family oriented, that I knew that the team embodiment was very similar to that. So that was my instinct on to continue at BU. But definitely for kids that are transferring, it's because you're not really going to see the kids when you're in the transferring process. So it's definitely relying on the coaches and how they talk to you and kind of their personality. That's what I would say is like a red flag for me.
Okay, cool. All right, so the grind is hard when playing every day. We're getting up early. So you got any advice for kids to stay motivated even in the cold or when they're tired or sore? How do you keep that same energy always?
Uh, the kind of thought I had was, if you're not working, someone else is. So, I mean, there's going to be kids that are definitely more motivated than you. So that's kind of got to drive you to, those early morning workouts. It's raining. You're walking to the locker room. It's 5 a.m. You don't want to do it, but just the thought that someone else is already up doing it should motivate you enough that you don't want to get beat. So that's kind of the motivation aspect right there,
Yes,
for
sir.
me at least.
All right, Reese, you're not the biggest dude. 5'11", 175, play LSM, dominated by mainly larger guys. So the question is, does size really matter?
Size does not matter. Yeah, definitely not the biggest guy out there. You can tell, 5'11", 175 pounds. Not the strongest either, but it's definitely a little challenge. But it's definitely something you can work through with stick skills and kind of IQ of the game, is what helped me get through the size disadvantage that I have to face every day in practice and games. So
Yeah,
definitely size does not matter.
yeah. I think you can't measure heart, Reese. I think you
Exactly.
did that perfectly. Okay. So, what are three of the most important qualities that a good teammate can have?
Uh, I would say number one is being able to take criticism. I think that's a lot of problem that uh, kids face when trying to lead a team or something like that, is in general, is anyone giving advice that people take it too hard that someone's trying to come at them on a personal level rather than trying to get you better and trying to make the team better. So I think being able to take criticism very well from coaches and or players is something that's pretty important. Two is hardworking. Don't like to see guys slacking off the weight room or on the field. So being able to be a hard worker is definitely something that will flourish or make you flourish in the college level. And starting that kind of hard work from the beginning in high school is something important for you. And I would say being confident too is something pretty important. I liked when little younger guys, sophomores, juniors, freshmen, criticized me, gave me critiques. I like kids that aren't afraid to speak up when they think the time is right. I mean, obviously, it's a scary situation being a freshman trying to speak up to a senior or something like that, but being confident knowing that you're trying to make them better and we're trying to make you better is something that each player should be able to do. So confidence is a huge part.
All right, great. It kind of reminds me of the 5 pillars we got going here at BU. You know,
Yep.
accountability, work ethic, motor, all those things.
What's the other two?
Accountability, work ethic, motor, family, compete. Did I say 5 of them right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. So a lot of kids trying to get recruited. Obviously, it's harder right now during COVID. But typically, what showcases or events would you recommend that guys go to get seen by coaches at BU?
Honestly, just the prospect camp. I went in seventh grade. Nothing came from it, so it was kind of funny. I kind of rip on the coaches all the time for that I came in seventh grade and no one took a chance on me, which I was probably a lot smaller than I am now. So it's kind of funny. But um, I did a lot of obviously like the summer tournaments and recruiting events like that. But I think that the most chance you have of getting recruited is definitely the prospect camp because you're seeing one on one instead of that tournament where there's 200 kids, 300 kids trying to get the same spotlight as you. So I would think one on one with a prospect camp is definitely the best opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was doing for like all the schools that I was targeting, just going to their prospect days because that's where you get the most
They
look.
see you right there, so it's easier for them.
Yeah. All right. So BU is obviously a very good academic school. So taking that in mind, what kind of GPA do you need in high school or ACT scores, AT scores? Is that all that important to try and play lacrosse at BU?
Uh, I mean, yeah, it definitely is important. I don't think your number one focus should be lacrosse going into college anyway. So I think focusing on academics first in high school and trying to get that work ethic and determination to keep good grades and maintain them is something that will help you in your process of being recruited, especially to BU, which is notoriously a very academically challenging school. So GPA wise, I mean, there's you're gonna get if you're a good lacrosse player, it's gonna help you get in. But academics is definitely important. So I would say try to maintain above a 3.0, which is what we try to strive as BU last year. Our team goal GPA was over 3.0. So I think 3.0 at least, and then ACT, SAT. I mean, those fluctuate depending on the type of student you are. So I'm not a great test taker, but I had a better GPA. So those types of standardized tests don't really tell all about. So I would mainly focus on your GPA.
All right. So you obviously have a lot of experience playing a lot of different places now, and your career is full of full of different events, and it's got a lot going on. So, what are some of the most important lessons you think you've learned playing college lacrosse?
Oh, um, someone's definitely outworking you somewhere. I mean, if you're not grinding every day, embracing the grind, someone else is. So um, you think you could be the best out there for coming from your high school, which you probably could be. Most kids who are coming to college lacrosse are. But once you get to the next level, everyone's better than you, if not, um, or equal or better than you. So definitely don't be content with where you are coming out of high school. Um, Embrace the grind with your teammates for sure because it's a quick 4 years, but it's a grueling 4 years. So just that, don't take it lightly when you get there on campus for the first time.
All right, I want to talk about transitions, like transitioning from high school to college, and now for you from college to pros. What are like the biggest adjustments that you've noticed?
Um, from high school to college is definitely the weightlifting aspect. Like I said, you could be good on the field and do well and not hit the weight room at all. It's just your skill is naturally better than most kids playing high school lacrosse. And then once you come to the next level, the weight room aspect is a huge part of it. You got to be the strongest out there, and you got to be lifting every day in order to maintain that type of physical standards that are demanded as a Division I athlete, especially in lacrosse. And then the IQ, watching film all the time. I know we watch hours of film every day at college lacrosse, so being able to maintain that aspect of keeping your mind sharp when you're watching film for an hour or 20 minutes or whatever it is. And then now as a pro level, we're just with COVID, we can't really be in contact with each other. So once again, watching more film, studying opponents, and trying to get schemes down like that. That's something we're doing right now. So once again, like the film is a huge part of it. So I think watching opponents and studying is a huge aspect of the game.
All right, so I know COVID right now is definitely taking a toll on some guys that are trying to get recruited. And you might not have the answer for this, but what do you think is the best way for these younger athletes who are or missing out on this opportunity to get recruited during this time? What do you think they can do in order to get on like a coach's radar?
Keep working. It's the same for everyone right now. No one's getting noticed. No one can go anywhere. So it's not like you're missing out from a part of recruiting, but so is everyone else. So you're not at a disadvantage compared to everyone else, but keep working. So when the time comes that you're better than you were when you were trying to get recruited, so you have a better leg up. But if you have highlight tapes, send those. I'm not sure what the rules are with contact wise. I think it's a dead period right now, but definitely get highlight tapes up right now, because that's the only way you can get seen. So keep working. It's going to come. So, yeah.
All right. So do you trash talk, Reece? What do you think about it? I know the answer, but let's.
Yeah, I'm a big trash talker.
You think it's
I
good
love
for the
it.
game?
Yeah. No one's going to go into a game saying, good luck. Like, nice talking to you on the sideline, stuff like that. It's always chirping. So I think it's good for the game for sure. Keeps up the energy, especially on the sideline. You can hear the sideline hooting and hollering. So definitely good for the game.
Yes, sir. All right. Last one here. Tell me about the funniest thing that you've ever seen on a lacrosse field, any level.
Oof. I think it was my junior year, so 2 years ago. I think Kevin Schneider took a face off. I don't know who was against, stood up and his pants, it was on his ankles.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if that was him or not, but that's probably one of the funniest things. And then, what else? Coach Pulley got hit in the lower parts, I think by Shot or someone last year, 2 years ago. But that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I've hit Silves down there before on accident. But
Oh, yeah, probably with a check.
yeah, what can you do though? All right. I appreciate the time, Reece. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, Rondo.